everyone, this is the roaming CPA. So I wanted to make this video about ERTC, which means Employee Retention Tax Credit. I've known about this for like almost 4 years. Yeah, it's been 4 years now. I just had to think about it in my head exactly. So this came out during the whole, like when we were all at home. So were trying to stimulate the economy with this. The primary thing when it first came out was people were going after the PPP loans, and employee retention tax credit could not be used in conjunction with PPP. And it was only allowed for like, I think 3 or 4 quarters at the time. But then right when Trump was about to leave, like I think it was either Christmas or the day after Christmas, sometime during that time frame. It was, don't quote me on it the exact date, but it was around that time. And he released this bill which allowed business owners to say, hey, in addition to your PPP, you can take this employee retention credit of like $7,000 for each employee over and above whatever you got in PPP. So I knew about it. I did it for my existing clients who I knew qualified for it, but I didn't go get new business because I knew it was just it was different from the business I currently had, and I just did not see myself doing it. And I thought I would be pressured to commit fraud. So I stayed away from it all during that time frame. So with that being said, what happened was a lot of people entered this market, and I saw people make, like, I met one guy, and he was talking about how his company cleared $5 billion. But they had really aggressive sales tactics to consumers that, hey, this is free money and you should get it. And business owner CPAs would say no, but then business owners like, well, if you can get it, I don't mind paying you 20% because I know you have to bust your butt. But it was like one hour's worth of work, and then the IRS would, you just fill out the form and the IRS would give you the money within 6 weeks. It was the most bizarrest thing. They would not do any checks and balances. And like most CPAs out there were really upset about this, like including myself. I was trying to prevent my clients from getting into situations which were compromising, and I would not allow them, but I would not file the return at that point. I was like, I'm not going to commit fraud. I know good and well you don't qualify, and even though this guy who's telling you on the phone and harassing you on the phone is telling you to do it, you shouldn't. And it was pretty bad the past couple of years. And like, I sat on the sidelines thinking like, hey, look, like, should I have done it? Should I not have done it? Now I'm kind of glad I did not. Sure, I could have made a lot of money, but it was not worth it. The level of fraud that was going to be committed. And the anxiety, like, I mean, like, look, they're saying that, look, thousands of audits are underway and 460 criminal cases have been initiated. Okay? So, and they've sent out 28 disallowance letters and basically $5 billion worth of improper. The amount of fraud that's being committed by this is insane. And they've already, so for suspected tax and abusive promoters, I think it was like 2 years. Yeah, see, like, sorry. 17 investigations resulting in convictions, 9 sentencings with an average sentencing of 20 months. Okay? I mean, yeah, you made like $5 billion, but in the process, like the feds probably seized your bank accounts, took all the money, locked you up in jail. Okay? After you don't get to see your family for like 20 months, and depending whether you're male or female, you're like you're being harassed in jail for like 20 months, and then you come back as like a criminal. Your earning potential substantially deteriorates. All for a high for like 2 years to say that like I'm a billionaire or having $100 million. It's just miserable, right? You may have to flee the country, but then you're always in anxiety. You can't come back here anymore. So they had this voluntary disclosure program where 2,600 people admitted that their ERTC was fraudulent. With this, the IRS was like, you tell us who hustled you into this scheme, we'll give you a 20% discount. So if you took out $10 million, you had to pay this guy $20 million. So you don't have to pay us $2 million. You just pay us $8 million. The problem is, right, a lot of these guys who took the money, they went and bought these G-Wagons, took their families on really fancy vacations, all kinds of crap, right? And they don't have the money anymore. And whenever they're getting these disallowance letters, they're being put in very bad situations. These business owners who did this, and now they're getting these disallowance letters, I don't know how they're going to pay them back. They're going to be stuck with this IRS ERTC debt for at least 10 years. And IRS is going to seize their bank accounts and just make their lives miserable. It's very hard to get out of IRS debt. I help clients do that, and it's just, I don't particularly like doing that because it takes so long. I had this one person, he even went to a tax attorney, right? And he was stuck with it for 8 years. He just couldn't get out of it. It was pretty bad. So it took me about 3 years just to get through it myself, but we finally got it done. Because they just don't stop, and then they try to reset the clock. So even if you get money, they just keep on paying. Let's say you have a debt, right? And after 10 years, it gets forgiven. What happens is even if you get let's say 1 year you paid all your taxes, okay? What happens, and you had a big tax bill 1 year, on year 10, okay? And you put $200,000 payment. The IRS forces that payment, that $200,000. I've seen this before. They take that $200,000 payment, apply it to that debt of 10 years, okay? Because they know that they can't get that money. And then if you owe $200,000 in year 10, they take that and reset the clock for 10 years. People think that, hey, look, I don't have to pay taxes. I don't have to pay it. I just keep on paying current taxes. I'm good. No, they make sure they take it and move it all the way to the most. Even if you make a payment for 2024, they'll take that payment all the way to 2014. If you owe back taxes, now you're set with this lump sum of payment that you owe for 2024. So now the clock gets reset, and you have to wait till 2034 for all your debts to be forgiven. But you're living in absolute poverty, because if you don't pay taxes, you're not making money. I mean, you have those people on YouTube that say otherwise, but I mean, dude, I think a lot of people who say that don't really understand what liquidity. It's great when markets are going up and you get more and more debt, but when either you owe the IRS or you owe your banker. You're either paying the interest, the taxes somewhere, because the bankers set up the tax system in favor for themselves, so that way they can enslave you. And when you realize that, you're like, well, who do I want to be enslaved by? These bankers who will seize all my assets, or do I just pay the IRS what I'm supposed to pay, and then own my assets outright with clear title? I've seen clients use both sides, being enslaved with the banker and then being their own sovereign. The quality of life you have whenever you're your own sovereign is far better. And you just have to pay the IRS, and I feel like, and as long as you do it legally and you follow all the rules, there are a lot of strategies out there that can really help. So I just wanted you guys to know about this fraud that's happening. They might be pushing it some more. You can see they're going to start the audit. So if you did get ERTC, talk to your CPA and figure out a way to get out of the hump. Okay, sooner the better. Be proactive about this. That's my main takeaway from this whole video that I'm making. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye.